This is a story about a father and his son who have combined to make an indelible mark on the Australian racing industry. And it was in Kalgoorlie, this tough and rugged gold mining town, that the first seeds of a training dynasty were first sowed. It reached its pinnacle at Royal Ascot in England.
And Scenic Blast wins the King's Stand.
Len Morton, born in New South Wales, was one of 8 children who moved to Kalgoorlie when his father gained employment with the Commonwealth Railways. Len left school at 14 and, as was common at the time, began working at a local sheep station.
It was back in the days when it was all horse mustering, and so I learnt my horsemanship there.
He joined the stables of trainer George Moore and his iconic brother, jockey Tiger Moore. It ignited a passion for Len and sparked a dream to go out on his own. With an insatiable appetite to broaden his horsemanship skills, Len, his wife Annette, and 2 young boys, Dan and Sean, moved back to his birthplace and teamed up with the legendary TJ Smith and Neville Begg.
I took a real keen interest in all the yearling horses that particularly TJ brought. Come Sydney sales time and New Zealand sales time, all the young horses that came into stables, I'd look up their pedigrees and made a real study of that, and so got pretty good understanding how to go about selecting a young horse.
He then returned to the West, but it was hard going at first, and no one did it tougher than his wife.
But we just had a tiny little shack on the place, and so she put up with that for about 5 years while I was getting started, and she actually went out to work to help support.
Len savoured his first win as a trainer when Glenark won at Pinjarra, but his big break came courtesy of stayer Muros, who won the 1978 Brisbane Cup. Len's link with Kalgoorlie meant the Goldfields round always had a special place in his heart, and one of his proudest moments occurred in 1987 when his son Dan rode Pirates Reign to victory in the Hannons. A year later he snared the big one, the Kalgoorlie Cup with Sugarstone.
Put his head in front. Sugarstone wins the cup.
Sugarstone was great because we actually owned the horse ourselves, and so that was a thrill and nice to win.
Len believes his success in Kalgoorlie rivals any other win.
The people in Kalgoorlie just make you feel so great when you win those races up there.
After another short stint in Melbourne, Len decided it was time to hand over the reins to the next generation.
He'd worked for me right the way through, from a schoolboy right through an apprenticeship as a jockey, and stayed on as my foreman. So I thought sooner or later he should have a crack on his own.
I actually never wanted to train when I was growing up because I saw, Mum and Dad go through highs and lows, but the lows seemed to last for a fair while.
Len took a back seat from the industry, believing it was important Dan establish his own credentials in a tough sport. The son of a gun soon landed on his feet, courtesy of brilliant sprinter Scenic Blast and tough middle-distance galloper Scenic Shot. In 2009, Dan took Scenic Blast to Royal Ascot and the King's Stand Stakes.
Nervous?
It was mayhem. We were spoiled. We had a big private box. I think there was about 50 of us that had travelled across, friends and family and owners.
Here's Scenic Blast now charging at them, and charges into the lead entering the final furlong. It's Scenic Blast by 2.5 lengths. Captain Gerard finishing well. Fleeting Spirit on the near side is rallying well, but it's going to go to Australia again, and Scenic Blast wins the King's Stand.
Australia's champion sprinter had successfully taken on and defeated the world's best.
That was a hell of a ride, and took us all around the world, obviously, and lucky enough my family travelled with us, and it was just exciting times, racing at the highest level everywhere was great fun.
Scenic Shot, he's raced up to
Stablemate Scenic Shot capped off a memorable year for Dan with an outstanding win in the McKinnon Stakes at Flemington.
But it's all Scenic Shot, and Scenic Shot scored by 2 lengths on the line to Miss Barron.
2 horses that won over $5 million between them, so I'll probably be obviously lucky to snag another one like it, but we'll keep trying.
It's Ballora 4 in front from Amelia.
Dan joined his father on the Kalgoorlie Trainers' honour roll when Ballora won last year's Boulder Cup, This year, his hopes in the Kalgoorlie Cup will rest with Ningaloo Blitz.
They hit it, Ningaloo Blitz.
Yeah, she's in great form, so hopefully be hard to beat.
Len and Dan Morton, from humble origins in Kalgoorlie to Royal Ascot in England, making their mark on Australian and world racing.